Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we are going to be working on a MacBook that doesn't turn on. I'd like to go through this step by step and show you that everybody, if they put a little bit of time and effort in, can make a MacBook work again and try and share the joy and happiness that comes from seeing the fan spin with everyone. So today we're going to take the bottom off of this MacBook. We're going to get started on it. Going to make this thing work again. It's going to have a nice little spinning fan. A spinning fan is kind of like the smile of a MacBook. When creating art, you want to make people smile. And when working on a MacBook, you want to make its fan spin. We're going to take the screws out of the MacBook, and we're going to store each one of those screws on a small magnet so that they don't get lost. Because losing screws in a MacBook is a sign of disrespect. And we don't want to show this product disrespect. Unfortunately, it appears that it's already been shown some disrespect. As you can see, this MacBook is really very dirty. I'm wondering how much of it not working has to do with the fact that it's dirty on the inside. We'll give this machine a nice cleaning with the compressed air once we've figured out what's wrong with it and have fixed it. But for now, let's dig in and figure out our problem. Did the kitty eat the magnets? Is that why we were all drawn to the kitty? No, the kitty was magnetic because the kitty was intensely cute. I do kind of want Leo back. From time to time, I dream about breaking into Veneer and Steve's apartment and stealing their cat. But that would get me arrested, so I can't do that. But it's an incredibly cute cat. And sometimes I debate about sneaking in there and replacing Oreo with him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the battery, because we always want to see what the board's taking by itself. We don't want our diagnosis of the board to be derailed by getting erroneous information from the battery. I want to see how much power the board is taking, not the battery. So the power supply is turned on. And as you can see on screen, this machine actually already turns on and works. We've been trolled. The fan did spin. It's likely going to do what it usually does, which is spin 3 times before it turns on. And this computer most likely already works just fine. So I don't know why it's actually here. I'm just going to confirm that it does chime and give a backlight. And once we've done that, which we see that's already happening, I'll just check some of the cursory things that tend to go faulty on this device before I smack over the head whoever took this in and did not put a proper problem description in the ticket. Because when you say no power, and then I plug it in and it powers on, that means you're a liar. And we don't employ liars here at Rossman Repair Group. We send liars home. Typically, the most common error thing that happens here is corrosion gets in the trackpad, and then the power button stops working, or it resets the SMC when it shouldn't. So we're going to give a cursory check of that area. I'm going to just take a look at the cable, and I can see a small bit of corrosion. This is the type of an issue where if this was brought to a place that has slightly less experience, they may not know to check over here in this area. And if they don't check in this area, they may give it back to the customer, and then the customer will think it was fixed, and it'll show up and it won't be fixed. And the repair shop will go, "But it worked when I tried it. What?" So you always want to check everything. You always want to check everything. You want to be really detailed with things, and you want to do things properly. You know, we live in a world where very few people believe in doing their job properly, and very few people take pride in their jobs anymore. Lots of people out there don't care about the quality of what they put out there in the world. And we can't control the world. We can't control what everybody else does. But we can control what we do. We can control what we do. You are the king of every MacBook that you open. You are the king of each MacBook repair. And in your small world that you are the king and the dictator of, you have full control. And you can do things to your standard of quality, not the rest of the world's. Let your MacBook repairs be an extension of who you are. So we are going to clean off that corrosion with a Q-tip and some 99% alcohol to ensure that the fibers on the Q-tip don't end up inside the machine or this flex cable. We're going to keep turning it like this rather than move it back and forth. Then I'm going to take a small X-Acto knife and try and scrape off the corrosion that I see over here and see if this can be fixed. to a point that I would trust it to work again. After that, we're going to test it with the power button. All right, let's see what we have here. Do this. I'm going to turn on the fume extractor. Yep, there's something for it to stick to. It was something for it to stick to the whole way through. Beautiful. Now, obviously, I'm going to want to replace this cable. This is a fairly cheap part. It's no skin off my back to put another one in there, and likely no skin off the customer's backs to pay for the cable. But just for my own curiosity, because it's actually quicker to do that than it is to get up and find another cable and take it out of inventory. It's actually easy to get up. It's a pain in the ass to find it in inventory. We're going to plug it in like that. We're going to hit the power button and see if it works. And if it does, we're going to go over on the schematic what most likely happened to this MacBook so that you all have an understanding of why we chose to look in that specific spot to make this machine work again. Now when I hit the power button, let's see what happens. Nothing will happen because I didn't plug the keyboard back in. That helps. We're going to plug the keyboard back in. Nobody saw that. We're going to do that. And we're just going to pretend that that never happened. Okay. Do this. Do that. Yep, nobody saw that. Hit the power button, and as you can see, the fan now spins. The fan did spin when I prompted it to turn on by plugging the charger in, but the only reason that happened is because I was not dealing with the keyboard and trackpad circuit that had corrosion on it. I was bypassing it when I plugged the charger in after unplugging the battery. Unplugging the battery and plugging the charger in is going to be like starting from scratch. Let's open a schematic and a board view for an 820-3435 so we can go over specifically why I chose to look in that area, what circuit was affected, and why what I did fixed the problem. All right, Paul Daniels' board view software is almost open. Beautiful. And this might just be on the screen right now. Now, if we take a look over here, this is the Trackpad Connector. The keyboard connects to the trackpad, and then the trackpad connects to the computer. If you take a look, the same pins always wind up being the ones that are corroded on this flex connector. PP3V42 gets corroded, as well as SMC reset. The SMC stands for System Management Controller. System Management Controller is going to be the chip that manages the system. It manages things like turning on and off. That's why there's this signal that goes to the SMC, on-off. This is an important one. And if there's corrosion there, it's going to either A, think that you're keeping the power button pressed down, which, by the way, is one of the ways that you reset this SMC. You reset the SMC by holding the power button down. Or two, with SMC LSOC Reset L, you may actually be resetting the SMC when you corrode that particular line. What that's going to do is it's going to think that you're resetting the SMC. Now think of your computer. Imagine what would happen to your computer with your desktop if you held down the reset button. It likely wouldn't turn on anymore. It would be stuck. It wouldn't know if it was on or off. You hit your power button and you hold down reset, it's not going to boot. That's what most desktop motherboards do when you hold down the reset button. Reset is going to reset your circuit. It's going to start from scratch. And that's precisely what was happening here. Now, why do I default to that area? The reason I default to that area is because this machine has zero sealing, and really it's just not great tolerances between the case and the trackpad. Liquid can easily seep in to this area over here. Just turn down that ISO over there so that you don't get too There we go, much better. So this is really, really easy for water to seep in there. And when it seeps in over here, the first thing that's going to happen is that it goes straight to that trackpad cable. And the way this machine is put together, if your trackpad is damaged, the rest of the computer doesn't turn on. There's no sense of redundancy. There's no sense of why should this component affect that component. It's just a beautiful little daisy chain of the keyboard has the ability to reset the SMC, which goes to the trackpad, which then goes to the computer's motherboard, so that even something over here, around your trackpad not working, can actually kill your entire MacBook. And it's one of the reasons that these often die. But today, we fixed it. Now, I'm not going to leave that cable in there with that kind of ghetto fix that I did, even though that most likely would work with me just kind of scraping the rust off of it and then putting some solder over it to ensure that it doesn't corrode into the future in the way that it would if we left the small little bits of copper on there. However, that would work. That would actually work. So if you're doing this at home and you just need your machine to turn on again and you don't have the 3 or 4 or 5 days to wait for something to come from eBay, this may actually be a workable solution for you that allows you to get back up and running again. Hopefully you've learned something. That's it for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now. Thank you for joining me. If you're interested in doing the type of work that we do in this video, repairing motherboards at component level, and you'd like to learn more for free, I'd highly suggest that you check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Rossman Group. When you visit the channel, you can click on Playlists, scroll down, and you'll see a playlist called MacBook Component Level Logic Board Repairs. On this playlist, you will find over 600 videos detailing how to fix MacBook motherboards. If you feel like the content in these videos is a little bit too advanced for you, or like you need to learn a little bit more electronics theory before you're able to understand what we're going over, you can scroll down in the video description and click on the beginner's guide. When you click on the beginner's guide, you'll see this 150 slide guide that goes over everything from short detection to how transistors work, to how data lines work, to how buck converters work, so that you can better understand how to do these types of repairs. If you would like more free help, you can visit repair.wiki. On repair.wiki, we have all of the devices listed by model and board number, along with common solutions and common problems, so that you can get an idea of where to look for your particular problem. If you're unsure how to fix it and you just want to pay somebody else to fix it, look no further than rossmangroup.com. On rossmangroup.com, you can find repair services as well as mail-in repair services where you can mail in your repair from anywhere and we'll take care of it for you. If you'd like some paid help with your board repair but you'd still like to do it yourself, you can check out boards.rossmangroup.com, where we have expert-level technicians that will answer your questions for the low, low price of $29 a month. If you'd like to learn how to do this in an in-person classroom environment, look no further than rossmangroup.com, where you can go here, scroll down, click Learn Logic Board Repair, and sign up for a paid class to learn how to fix motherboards and learn in person how to do the work that we do here on this channel. We have paid resources available, and we also have free resources available for those who'd like to learn who don't have a budget to be able to pay for an in-person class. Lastly, if you'd like to purchase any of the tools that we used in this video, you can check the video description and you will see all of the tools that we use, from microscopes to freeze spray to soldering stations to soldering tips and so on and so forth. And you can visit places like store.rossmangroup.com to purchase some of the tools we use, like the A1465 Hot Air Rework Station. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.